What's the one thing no one's talking about so far I've seen on the internet? Are the Democrats trying to ram down a $3.5 trillion bill that essentially is free, according to Biden? Let's get into it on the Derek O'Shea Show. Welcome to the Derek O'Shea Show, where we discuss culture, news, politics, and more. Sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy the show. Be sure to tell your friends and family about the revolution. Hey, all you cool cats and kittens. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Derek O'Shea Show. I appreciate every single one of you. I seriously do. I appreciate you for tuning in. It means so much to me. If you want to support me, go to buymeacoffee.com/Derek O'Shea Show. Greatly appreciate it. Also, if you want to call or text into the show to ask me any kind of questions or anything like that, or ask me for my sources, I always put my sources on my videos and on my podcast, so should be easy for that. Anyways, but if you have any questions, feel free to call or text. This is not a personal phone, so I'm not going to pick up. But let's get into the news on this beautiful Monday afternoon, morning, whatever time you're listening to. What is MSNBC talking about? As always, Trump's team ignored congressional subpoenas when he was in office. It's a new day. They're talking about Trump with a straight face and an adoring crowd. Trump lies and says Arizona audit found he won. MSNBC won't let it go. Won't let it go. Then a poop a bop a doob a dow. Made it go. And for those of you it's like, Derek, why are you talking about the audit? Because no one's talking about it. Literally no one. I don't know what that should tell you, but it should give you a good indication. As I constantly say, Republicans, you should be focusing on integrity laws, voting integrity laws, and having to show voter ID and stuff like that. All those kind of racist ideas. That's what you should be focusing more on that and less on the subpoenas. I think they want you to focus on that so you get demoralized, so you don't ever come out and vote. And then the Democrats win all the freaking time. CNN, what are they talking about? Trump's media appearances. Look at this. Look at this freaking title. Trump's media appearances show that a storm is brewing. My God. Look at the storm. It's brewing. How do we stop all these white supremacists in one building? It's disgusting. There's a storm brewing, Mr. Wayne. It's just screams Batman, and it just needs to stop. All right. And they're talking about, a lot of news agencies are talking about Gabby Petito's fine. You know, okay, we're still talking about that? Sure. As if there's nothing else going on in the news. Here's other news that I want to bring up that I think is just being swept under the rug, not being talked about. And it seemed like, it's not a big deal. And it's because it goes for the narrative of climate change. Let's get into these California wildfires. Bay Area college professor suspected of setting seven fires in California. Another one. This is coming from the Daily Mail. Forestry student. A forestry student. Alexandra Souverneva. That's a crazy last name. 30 years old, from Palo Alto, has been charged with a felony arson, wildland, and suspected of starting Fawn Fire. She was carrying CO2 canisters and a cigarette lighter. Destroyed and burned 8,500 acres. 8,500 acres. And destroyed 41 homes. The DA suspects that she could be a serial arsonist. I thought it's just climate change starting these fires. It's almost like this forestry student knew that it'll make a big impact. You know what? If the Republicans won't get the message of climate change, I'm going to set these fires. Well, let's not stop there, okay? Let's just not. Caught in the act, illegal immigrant Mexican teen busted for setting wildfires in California. Okay, so is Californians just psychotic and they just like setting wildfires? Or is it about the message? Not enough people are taking this seriously. Let's start wildfires. And why do they all seem to lean towards the left? Coincidence?
I think not.
I don't know. You tell me. Because when it becomes a religion and people aren't taking your religion seriously enough, maybe you do stupid stuff in order to make those who aren't listening listen. Just great. Also, on other news, Brian in Florida, you killed Gabby and you are on the run. But you didn't factor in the big bad dog is going to come and get you. It's going to put you in jail for the rest of your life. I'm the dog, the big bad dog. I can't believe he showed up to Brian's home where his parents started to knock just to talk to him. What's going on right now? Is this real life? I thought this show was a joke. Is it real? It's hard to tell these, what are they called? I'm blanking. Oh, reality TV shows that you're just like, okay, this is called a reality TV show, but it can't be real. Anyways, the dog is coming for you, Brian. So you better run, because the dog is here. All right, let's get into what another news. Afghan rescue worker. Definitely more Americans left than Biden claims. I'm appalled, according to an Afghan worker. Yeah. So we release all the Haitian migrants, up to 12,000 of them in America. But those Americans in Afghanistan? Crap. Thank God you don't have internet, or else you'd be posting stuff. Oh my God. But let's get into what I want to talk about. The thing I feel like no one's talking about. And because it's messy, it's hard. I don't even know how to begin describing it because, I have a job. I have a life. I don't have all day to read this freaking bill. As I've always said on this show, every single bill that the House, any governmental bill, should be written on one piece of paper or two. Okay, now I'm crossing my own line. One piece of paper. If you can't explain a bill to the average human being or allow a senator or, any kind of legislator to be able to take the time out of their day to actually read what you have passed as opposed to only getting to whatever the aides say is in the bill. Because imagine a bunch of aides colluding together and lying to you. Oh, no. If you don't have time to read the bill, then you should never be talked about. It should never be passed. But that's what we're all about in our governmental system, isn't it? We're about passing bills because we're about progress. Well, what happens if there's things in the bill that's not progress? Come on, man.
Come on,
Thank you, Joe. What happens if it's not progress? What happens if it puts us more in debt? What happens if there's things in the bill called an infrastructure bill that have nothing to do with infrastructure? But that's what our politics is all about. We're about passing these bills that have these fun names that make you feel good on the inside. But there are things in the bill that have nothing to do with the actual name of the bill. That's why you should never trust politicians. Anytime they start using these buzzwords that make you feel good, like what have you heard about the infrastructure bill? What are some things that have popped up in your head? What I've heard from the Democrats is broadband internet. Aren't you for broadband internet? It's good for you. It's fast internet speeds. You can do all the Twitch live streaming you want. You can go game. You're in the middle of the country. You can game all you want, bro. Game it up. We need broadband internet. And I agree with that. But there's already a huge solution. And Elon Musk called Starlink would change the world. But you know what? We're the government. We know better. Instead of, the government being like, instead of trying to do it on our own, why don't we just help subsidize Starlink or help get that going in any capacity? Nah. Don't want to do that. That's the private sector. And the private sector is always better than the government. Hey, don't say always. Always. At least I think so. Change my mind, prove me wrong. I know people want universal health care, but I don't think you do. Even if you want it. You want the government controlling what you can do and can't do with your body at all times. It's for your safety. It's for your health. Just take this. Eat this. Do this. Oh, you're not going to do this? Get to the back of the line. We're the government. We can do whatever we want. But yes, our politicians pass bills that they themselves haven't even read. I don't have time. That's why they vote present for things and then pretend like a crybaby when they vote for those things. But here's Nancy Pelosi coming on ABC. Listen to her words very carefully describing this bill. She also, the bill is, I know this sounds boring. It's not fun. Where's a trendy video we could talk about? That's more fun. And that's what I think is the problem with our government, is they have these bloated bills that no one pays attention to because we're so much more focused on, what's a trending video? But here's Nancy Pelosi. Let's listen to her loud and clear. She's going to tell us what she thinks.
So again, the Senate and the House, those who are not in full agreement with the president's, right? Let's see what our value. Let's not talk about numbers. And dollars. Let's talk about values.
And there it is. Let's not talk about numbers and dollars, because that'll skew you. That'll change your mind. That'll 3.5 trillion sounds like a big number, and it is, and it isn't. I don't know. It's not about the money. It's about the values. What are our values? Our values. If any time a politician, instead of explaining what's in a bill, resorts to an emotional pull to spark your emotion so that you agree and that you call your senator, your, congressman, hey, why don't you want infrastructure? Why don't you want to help me? Well, are you reading the bill? No. But Nancy said it's about our values, so I need to be mad about this. So as always, the Democrats are pushing their own bill. They don't want to talk about money because money ain't a thing. When you're just printing, you can print as much as you want. Those printing presses run hot all day. Hey, Afghanistan, you want, $26 million? We'll leave you with billions of dollars in military equipment. Who cares? It's money. It's not a big deal. It's not like we're in massive debt or, inflation's higher than it's ever been. We don't care about money. We care about our values. We're rich. I'm Nancy Pelosi. I use bills to help me in how I get rich in the stock market. But no one wants to talk about that. She's a good person. Blah, 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 blah. If you ever get rich, just follow what she does in the stock market. It's pretty public. And she makes moves that go, wait a minute, that's exactly what it has to do with your bill you just passed. Don't worry, she's a Democrat. Also, she has a good CPA and she can get away with whatever she wants because, Biden says, if you don't make over $400,000, you're not, if you make over $400,000, we're going to tax you more. But if you make under $400,000, you're not going to take a cent. I hate that so much because, really rich people, multimillionaires, billionaires, do you think they don't have a good CPA or they don't have a good way of getting out of what they pay? Why do you think Jeff Bezos and some of these, Bill Gates, some of the richest men in the world clap for Joe Biden? Because they can get around it. But you can't, because you know who fits the bill for when taxes go up? It's the little person, because the big person goes, oh, I'll just inflate the prices then because I don't want to have to pay extra for my tax. Sure, I'll pay extra for my taxes, but you think I'm just going to, I like the way I live. I don't want to live less than how I live, so I'll make the little people pay for it. That's why taxes are a big deal. This idea that it's just taxes go to good things. We need to pay for these things. The person that fits the bill for taxes is going to be the little person always. Yes, it sucks being poor. I'm poor, and seeing rich people get richer. It just makes you mad. It gets that emotional plea, and that's what Democrats want you to feel. That they want you to feel some kind of unjust or unfairness or something of that nature, so that it sparks emotion that you continue to vote for them. But don't you know that when people raise taxes on the rich, Who do you think owns all the businesses? Who do you think employs people like you and me? You think they want to they'll just take it out, they're just good people, and they look at what the government's doing and going, yeah, I'm going to give money to these people. And also, I'm just going to take the hit. Sure. That's exactly what they're going to do. It's just take the hit. Let's go back to this $3.5 trillion bill. Joe Biden put this tweet out about the bill, which is hilarious. Joe Biden says, my Build Back Better agenda cost $0. This isn't misinformation. This is Joe Biden. Instead of wasting money on tax breaks, loopholes. Oh, you mean like you? Loopholes? How do you think you got so rich, President Biden? I don't know. God. I don't understand how people see that and they just clap him. Just yeah, wait, how did you get rich? I don't know. I don't care. You're a good guy. You're a Democrat. You can do whatever you want. We don't care. We don't hold you to the same standard as we hold Republicans. We lose our minds for those people. Instead of wasting money on tax breaks, loopholes, tax evasion for big corporations and the wealthy. You mean like yourself, Joe? Nah, Joe's a good guy. He can go down to your local ice cream shop. He's not worth millions of dollars. He doesn't have a huge house. His kids aren't rich because of whatever he did for them. It's yes, Hunter was on Burisma, but he deserved it. He deserved it. He worked hard. We can make a once-in-a-generation investment in working America. What about just giving amnesty to all those illegal immigrants? How does that help the American that's struggling to find a job or struggling to pay rent? It adds $0 to the national debt. And this is what I want to talk about. And it might seem just silly to you, but I don't think it is. The way the Democrats speak about spending money and spending debt and going into debt more and doing unnecessary things in order to have some kind of emotional response out of you, and then so they can say they got it done, as Nancy Pelosi says, it's not about the money. It's not about the money. It's about the values. And Joe Biden's just kind of saying the same thing because they all have the same talking points. They all get like a note and says, "Hey, let's not talk about let's not even bring up 3.5 trillion. Let's just talk about values, infrastructure, and do things that make us feel good on the inside." Instead of wasting money on tax breaks, loopholes, and tax evasion for big corporations for the wealthy, we can make it once in a. I mean, what does that have to do with the infrastructure? How about sending, $26 million in Pakistan for a gender studies program? How about we stop doing stuff like that? Nah. Gender studies stuff is important because that's culture. We need the culture to change over there. We need those people to know about gender studies in Pakistan. It's important. I'd rather give, 26 Americans $1 million, but that's just me. So this bill is good. Pelosi claims this bill is set to be voted on Thursday, and she claims in her tweet that says she's going to be pushing this bill down. So Thursday, the infrastructure bill is coming in hot. The House will vote Thursday on Senate passed bipartisan infrastructure bill. I love they call it bipartisan because if you get a couple of Republicans, all of a sudden it's bipartisan. And we all know who those Republicans are. Pushing back on an originally planned vote for Monday, the Democrat moderates have demanded a part of the deal with the Speaker. Lawmakers will still debate on the bill on the House floor on Monday, but the actual vote will be pushed to September 30th, which has some surface transportation programs are set to expire. Sunday, a massive night for Democrats. The vote is part of what would be a jam-packed week for the House. In addition to the vote on a bipartisan infrastructure bill, Democrats are aiming to take action on the $3.5 trillion package to expand social safety net programs, an act to prevent government shutdown on October 1st and avoid debt default. This week is an opportunity as we work to keep government open. conclude negotiations on the Build Back Better Act and advance the bipartisan infrastructure bill, Nancy Pelosi wrote. You should look up for yourself some of the things in this bill that have nothing to do with infrastructure. Because as always with these bills, Democrats especially, and sometimes Republicans as well, use these bills to add a little something to their agenda. Hey, this is a big bill. No one's going to read the whole thing. I'm going to throw this in there too. Hey, you want this for your state? How about you get on this bill and I'll add whatever you want to this bill? And that's what's happening on this bill. This is a big bailout infrastructure bill that pushes a lot of Democrat policies along. And a lot of Republicans went, yeah, okay, I'm tired of fighting. I wish Republicans would act like Democrats sometimes and kick and scream and say, if you don't do what I want, I'm not leaving. I'm going to sleep on the steps of this house floor. What are your thoughts on this bill? Because I see this as a huge W for Democrats and a huge L for Republicans. There are some good things in this bill that you're just clap for. You say, sure. I can see how some Republicans would like some of the things because it sounds good. But then there is a lot in this bill that makes you go, what the heck is this have to do with infrastructure? But that's what our politics have become, and I freaking hate it. I'm tired of politicians claiming, just lying to your face about stuff. Hey, this bill's about broadband. This bill's about better roads and cleaning the pipes, and that's it. Anytime Democrats, Republicans, politicians claim what's in the bill, no, you won't read the bill to actually figure out what's in it. Why do you think Democrats want to push this bill so far down people's throats? It should make you question, are they being truthful for the three things that they're talking about that's in it? Or is there something that pushes their agenda along even further? And that's where we're at. That's where we're at on our politicians anyways. They just lie. They put things in bills that have nothing to do with the bill. They pat on the back of each other. The red flag bill law. Hey, nothing wrong here as a bunch of Republicans voted for it. What? That's where our politics are at. We're so concerned about our influencers our politicians making us feel good, making us laugh, making us feel connected. Their likes, how many likes they have on Instagram. Do they have a big TikTok following? Are they funny? Do they have little moments? We're all concerned about them having their moment where they make somebody else look stupid, because that's what we're all about. Dividing a huge line in the sand, making the other side look so stupid. It feels so good. How's it feel, suckers? That we have stuff going on like this in the government where things are just getting passed right underneath your eyes, right underneath your nose. Underneath your eyes. I don't know where I came up with that. It's stupid. Underneath your nose. Because we're more concerned with little trendy videos, or what is AOC's dress, or what, I don't know. Did Biden fall today? What was his scoff? We're so concerned about stuff like that, but when it comes to like huge bills that are going to change the country forever, we're like, that's too much to think about. I want to talk about something else. I hope you enjoyed this channel. I hope you enjoyed this video. My intention is always to bring up something I hope no one's talking about, and so I hope you appreciate that. Sometimes that'll be boring subjects. Sometimes that'll be fun and exciting subjects, like my last one, the ASU ASU girls that harass those two white kids. Because that's what we're all about in culture. Have a great day, guys. I appreciate you guys so much. I might have some more stuff coming out later, and I might go live for the press conference, as always. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I'm sorry this is a solemn Monday. Frick. Should have been more excited. Had a good time. Had a fantastic time. I apologize for that. Just let you know, I love you. I'm thinking about you. I think you're a fantastic person. I hope you have a great week. And just also know that politics do not dictate your life all the time. And some of this national stuff are going to have big repercussions on your wallet and how you go about life. But ultimately, be a good person. Find one person today in your life to make a difference in their life is what I want to encourage you to do. Have a great day. As always, I'll catch you on the next episode of the Derek O'Shea Show.